Hi, I know a few people have been asking for this video on Inkscape. So what I'll do is I'll go through a few of the main things you need. Now I'm not going to go through Inkscape here and show you absolutely everything it does, because you'll be here for a year. Okay, there's a lot you can do in here. You only really need it what you need it for, and I know that a lot of people just want it to print from Sawgrass. And it's very, very easy and short, so you don't need to get into everything that's complicated on this. So when you open Inkscape up, this is what you see, okay? So it has a big page here. So I'm just going to zoom in and you'll see the page there. So this is real life A4. So what you put on this is going to print on an A4 sheet. So you want the sizes true to this sheet. Now, if you don't know how to zoom in and out with your mouse, you can go into View, Zoom in and out. So if it comes up originally and you can't see this page, it probably just needs to be zoomed, because this page is always here. So, when you've got an image you want to print on your Sawgrass, okay, you're going to want to bring in your image. Now, PNG images and SVG images are fine. PNG I would recommend more than anything, because you have your clear background. Okay, so I will show you the difference between two files. So I'll just go to import. Now these two images here are the same. You can see this one is a JPEG and this one is a PNG. So I'll bring the JPEG in first. So I'm going to open this. You just hit OK. And you can see here, if you take this line here as an example, you can't see behind this. This has a white box around it. So if you were going to print on, use this for easy subli, which you're going to bring into Cricut, on white it doesn't really make a difference. But if that white box was in any way kind of like a hint of cream off it and you're just not seeing it, that will show. So I prefer to use the PNG images. So you can see this has the white box. Okay, so I'm going to delete that and I'm going to bring in my PNG. So to bring in an image, you go to File and Import, and it's going to bring up all your stuff that you want. So you go to this PC. I'll go into my downloads. That file I was looking for is in my kids folder. And it was in boys. So here we go. So I'm going to pick my PNG image. And I'm going to open. And OK. So now the difference is there's no white background. You can see that line going totally through. So that's what I want. I want the PNG image. So with Sawgrass, if you wanted to print this, it's fairly simple. If this is all you wanted, you go to File, Print. You're going to pick your Sawgrass Print Manager. You're going to pick Print. And your Sawgrass Print Manager will come up. And that's ready to go. In your Sawgrass Print Manager is where you'll mirror the image. Okay, so another question that people are asking me is how to add text. So if this was going on, let's just say, now Print Manager has come up here. So I will pick whatever it's going on, say polyester, and my true pix will come up and I will mirror it. And then it's ready to print. You'll see it'll come up all done for you now shortly. There you are. So it's mirrored. I'll just show you, unmirror it and mirror it. Okay, and you're just hitting print. And that's that print done. It's that easy. Now, if you want to add text to this, okay? So, for example, if this was going on a t-shirt, this A button here is your text. So I'm going to hit that. And when you click onto the screen, you'll see that flashing line there. And that's for your text. So I'm going to put in Alex. So every time you write with text in Inkscape, you need to go over and hit this select arrow. Okay, that's your select tool. So when I hit that, it's going to give me the options to move it. If I go and hit text and write Alex again, if I don't press that, it's not doing anything. It's just making a mess. It just wants you to put in more text, really. So you do have to hit that button. To get rid of something, you click on it and hit delete. Now I have my Alex here, okay? So once I've hit that, it's going to give me the options to move it. It's going to give me the options to make it bigger, smaller, wider. If you want to keep anything in proportion, you just hit that lock button and it'll keep everything in proportion. It'll only move it bigger or smaller. It won't take it out. Whereas if the unlock is on, you can maneuver it any way you want. So here I have Alex, okay? Now if I want to change the font of this, I can go to text, text and font. And now your font box is going to appear here. So all your fonts are here. Now everything you have on your system will be in here. So anything you've ever uploaded will be here. You won't find your Cricut fonts on this because they're solely for Cricut. But anything that you've uploaded from, say, Defont or any sites, they'll all be here. So you don't need to add them. You don't need to do anything. So I'm going to go with Baby Brooklyn. And I'm going to hit apply. So now you can see my font changed, alright? So with that then, I'm going to change the color. Now, the colors are all here, but you can also click on your, click on your colors. And you'll see fill is here. So fill is the color, okay? So you can move it around to try and make it match this color a bit more. So that's a little bit more blue. Now, I'm happy with that. Okay. So if I was going to print that now, I just do the same thing. File, print, pick my Sawgrass print manager, and print. And that's as easy as that. So say this was going on a mug, and you wanted 2 of them. What I tend to do with mugs like this, if it's not a full mug wrap, I will just get the size I want. Now say 11-ounce mug, I want it to be a certain size. So I know 11-ounce mug will be on average 10 centimeters width by 8 centimeters length. Now up here it always comes in millimeters. You can change it to centimeters. You can change it to inches. Whatever suits yourself. So I'm going to go centimeters. So I know the width is 10 by 8. Now this is not necessarily the width I'm going to use. I'm going to put that in because that's the biggest size. So I know I don't want that the full coverage of a mug. So I'm going to put it down to 7 by 6. That's absolutely fine. It will look great on a mug. If I just wanted Alex on the other side, then all I'm doing is just typing Alex. Now the writing, I like it to be a bit smaller because the writing can look very big and clumpy on one side of a mug. So I do like my writing to be small if I'm just placing a name on one side of the mug. Now you could put in here, happy birthday Alex. You could put in anything you wanted. So what I do here, or if you wanted that on both sides, say you were not going to use that Alex, just Control and D will duplicate for you. So I do it this way because I can fit more than 2 mugs on a sheet. So if I press Control D, Control D, Control D, now like this looks like I could fit 4 mugs on. I tend to try and just do 3 because sometimes it can overlap a little bit in colour. I've had it happen a couple of times. I do tend to, but easily I could do 4 mugs here. Okay, so that would be 4 mugs on a sheet, and I'm going to Control and D, so to duplicate. And I need one more. Okay, so this is real life A4 page. So you can see here I fit 4 mugs on. So go to File, Print, Print Manager, Print, and the same thing again. You just mirror, and there's a whole sheet filled with A4, an A4 page filled with 4 mugs. So now the other part of this is how you want to save an image. Okay, so say this is something I know I'm going to use again. I'm not going to print it now because I don't know for sure, but I want to save this as a PNG. So I'm going to go to File and Export PNG Image. So what I'm going to do is I want the page. You can pick Selection if you only wanted one saved. You can Control and A and hit Selection. There's custom there. What I tend to do is I'll save a page or I'll save a selection. They're really the only two I use. Okay, so what I will do is hit Export As. When I do that, my folders come up. I tend to save all my PNGs in my downloads. So I'll double click on my downloads. I'll name it, so a deer image, whatever suits yourself. And I'll save. Now, that's not saved, okay? There is another important part here. You have to also hit the export button. So it looks like you've saved it, it feels like you've saved it, but you haven't. So with the export here, if you look at my screen while I hit this button, you'll see a little box pop up. There you go. Now I know it's saved. And like, trust me, the amount of times I have not hit that button and I have been fuming, because once you delete it then or go to a new page, it's gone. Now, I can also go into File and Save As. So if this was an SVG image that I have here, I can save it as an SVG. It actually automatically saves as an SVG in here. Now you'll see it gives you a lot of options. Okay. So there's a lot you can save it as in there. I tend to just use SVG or the PNG image. I'm going to cancel that. So they are the main things in which you're going to use your Sawgrass for. Alright. Now, a lot of people have also asked me to crop images. I'm just going to get rid of some of these. So I'm just selecting them and deleting. Hitting the delete one. Come on. Hitting the delete button. So I'm just going to make this bigger so you can see. So say I only wanted the deer. Okay. I am going to go and get a box. I'm going to put that box around the deer. Now what I'm going to do is press Control and A. So I'm selecting all of it. Now, if you're not pressing Control and A, you can just select them. I would do that if... There, it's selected. I would do that if I have other things on the page. Because if you press Control and A, it's going to select everything. And it's going to get rid of everything. So if you have other things on the page, you want to select it with the arrow. So, to crop this, I put the square over what I want to keep. Okay, so remember, I want to keep the deer. I don't want any of this. So I put the square over what I want to keep. I select them. I go to Object, Clip, and Set. And now you can see I just have the deer there. Okay, so I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to bring in another image. So File, Import. And I'll bring in the same image. Now, you can also do this if you had something that you wanted a circle on. So it's not just for squares, it can be done with circles too. So I am going to go and select the two of them, pressing Ctrl and A, Object, Clip, Set. And there I have a circle. I'll just show you. So now if I want to bring this to the front, you can see it's at the back. These buttons here. So it's lower selection to bottom, lower selection one step, raise it, raise it. So I'm going to bring it to the front. I'm going to raise it. So I have that there. You can see it's brought in some of the others. So if I was really doing this, I would make sure that that wasn't there. He actually looks very angry there. What's wrong with him? Okay, so that is your text and that is your cropping. Alright, so leave any comments underneath if there's anything else that you want to see. But this is just so people can get started and make a start on getting Inkscape to work for your Sawgrass. Because it's very hard to find a program. I mean, Sawgrass does have Creative Studio, but it's not the best to use for these kind of images. There's a lot of sizing. The text, it just doesn't work as well and as quick. So it's just, this will get you started straight away on printing with your Sawgrass. So leave a comment underneath if you want to know other things that are quick and simple, so you don't have to go and sit through 20 hours of Inkscape tutorials online that are so hard to understand. So let me know. Okay.